front side double. Front side double. Take it easy, guys. Good job. That was our leader. Had to check.
Hey guys, it's friendly neighborhood knothead here. Last week's racing. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it very brief. It sucked. I guess let's talk about Big Buggy. I guess I had an issue all day long with one of my front shocks and I didn't notice it until the mains. I had a bent shaft. And that was fun. Then I had another issue that I didn't notice until after the day was over. So it either developed, I guess, maybe in one of the qualifiers in the main. I don't know. I lost a lock nut on my right rear A-arm, and I lost an arm insert. So my car was driving kind of weird. It was kind of bad. I didn't perform anywhere near where I wanted to, and it sucked. Baby Buggy, I had a couple meltdowns. I thermaled twice, changed gears, even with a fan on, I thermaled twice, changed gears down, and I guess my pinion slipped in the main, and it chewed up some of my spur gear slipped in my main. A gear slipped, and it stripped out some, and I think it's still okay. I charged a battery to test it out, make sure it's not going to move again. But I haven't done anything with it yet. I did it yesterday. This weekend, as of the other day, whenever I got a forecast update, I'm still probably not going to be racing this weekend, so I'm not going to get to run new track at Indy until Tuesday. That being said, Indy announced yesterday, the day before, that there are no more COVID restrictions there, so full indoors is open, back to 12 drivers on the stand. It's going to be good, guys. It's going to be good. That means more people can make the A main from the start. It also means days will be a little bit shorter, so no more getting home at 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesdays, which is really good. But that also means that there's more room for Baby Buggy. I love Baby Buggy. That being said, I am going to get one of the famous Jim Brown heat sinks next weekend. So I should never thermal again in my Baby Buggy. And that's also the next Shaw series. I'm really looking forward to next week's racing. Next week is going to be fun. I mentioned last time I recorded, which was last week, I think. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of bad. That I was going to talk about a tech tip that I accidentally discovered on the 2.0. And this actually is beneficial because I can just show you the rear of my car and you can get an idea on what I'm talking about because I lost a lock nut. Luckily, I had some. But it has to do with the inserts in the rear arm for the spacing for the chassis length. Or you can have your spacers in the rear, some are none, to lengthen or shorten the wheelbase of your car. I like to run a longer wheelbase, a little bit less instantaneous reaction. It is a little bit of a slower car, but it's easier for me to drive. It's also better at Shaw's. And going back and forth between Shaw's and Indy, I don't really want to change a whole lot on my car. So like I said, I do one setup that kind of allows me to have my car decent enough for both places. So I'm just going to grab my 2.0, which happens to be sitting here next to me because I'm waiting on parts to come in, and they're coming in today. And here on the back end, you can see this insert in the arm. There's one on the back, and then there's one on the front. And I don't know what fell off my desk. That's awesome. So these spacers are sitting right here. And what I discovered really accidentally one day is that if you take out one of the spacers, one of the inserts, and I'm missing that rear arm insert there. you can actually put your shims on the hinge pin, then just put the insert back in, and then put your lock nut down. I struggled a lot with that on the Dot 4. It was really weird to get the hinge pin in there, and then the shims, and then through the arm, and not have any fallout. I had trouble with that. And on the 2.0, I was having trouble with that until I accidentally discovered it. So, like, wow, epiphany moment. Great, yeah, wow. So it's not a super tech tip. It's not like going to do you a whole bunch of stuff. It's not going to make you instrumentally faster, although I would hope so. Just working on your car. It just makes it a lot easier. Like I said, it was an accidental discovery. I figured I'd talk about it for those people who are starting out with a 2.0 and maybe didn't know about it, or maybe figured it out on their own and just wanted somebody else to confirm that it is a thing. Another thing I want to talk about, because I asked another buddy of mine on how to do shocks without leaking, because I have had some leaking issues on my shocks. Not a whole lot. My shocks aren't empty; just stuff comes out of them. Emulsion builds on shocks mentioned to me that they don't do any compression pumps anymore. So I'm going to try that. I've redid my rear shocks, because all my shocks, except for my rears really, my fronts were super bad. Hadn't been serviced in a really long time, so they needed some service. So I rebuilt my rear shocks, but instead of doing, I guess, a 48.4 style where you pump it 30 times and then do a second bleed, I just filled it up, did still kind of the little bubble over the top of the shock. And maybe I'll do a video on how I did it now instead of before. I filled it up, little bubble over the shock, put the cab back on there, just did a bleed of the shock, and I put the bleeder screw back down. I guess that's the new way of doing shocks on the 2.0s. As I've been told, it's probably not necessary to do those other compression shocks. So I'm going to find out on Tuesday. I'm going to run my Biggie on Tuesday. So I also got... Oh, where are they? Got some new tires I want to try. I got a new tread of Sweep tires. I got the Hexagons. It seems they are a directional tire, and I almost was not able to fix it. I would have had one tire differently, and I would have had to order another set, or hope another racer of mine that ordered them could fix me up and just trade a tire. But I got some new tires I want to try out, so I'll take Biggie on Tuesday night. Probably won't take the baby buggy because I lost a battery and I don't know where it's at, and I don't like running a car on just one battery. Can kind of get away with it on the 8th scale, but I don't think you can get away with it as much on 10th. It takes a little bit longer to charge the batteries, especially on a shorter night. So yeah, that's all I've got for this week since I haven't done any racing. So I don't really have a whole lot more to talk about. And the racing from last week was really bad anyway. So again, thanks for tuning in. As always, like, subscribe, share, comment. Let's get up to those 100 viewers. I am going to check Sweep here probably next week, and we'll definitely order 2 sets of tires to give away. But thanks, guys. See you at the track.